and this is the halfback choice play. This formation for us is trips right. It's in a zebra personnel for us, which is 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end, 1 halfback in the game. The protection is our 80 protection, which is a 5-man protection, so we're in scat protect in this play. The assignments as we assign the play out. Number 1, away from the call side, is going to run an outside release go. His job is to clear the outside shoulder of the outside defender. So if it's cloud coverage, he'd end up taking 2, both the cloud corner and the high safety. If it's just a free access, a middle closed look, he'd end up getting through the outside shoulder of the 3rd defender. So his job is to flush this outside 3rd. Number 2 is going to run what we call a Q route, which is a 2-step out. He'll take a rollover speed break technique, and he should look as he comes out of his break. Number 3, away from the play side, is going to run the pressure route. His job is to wall off the C gap, which is the first inside defender in the box. So he wants to wall off the C gap by taking best possible release versus a 9 technique or a 6 technique. He wants to work misdirection release and work inside versus a 7 technique. Then he'll want a misdirection inside to get outside, but then again get back and wall off the C gap. The important thing here is to wall off this C gap and take the next defender, the Mike linebacker, as we would state it, as we talk to our players, which is the first inside linebacker, pull him and flush him with the coverage. Number 1, to the call side. Again, this is called halfback choice, so this becomes number 1 in the 3-by-1 surface. He'll run an outback versus free access. For us, that's a 16 back to 14-yard route, and he's hard through 15. At 15 yards, he'll put his foot in the dirt. He'll come out of the break at a 45-degree angle back to 14. If he gets any type of cloud coverage, he then would take this and turn this into an outside release fade, and his job would be to make this a protection release, as we call it. To take the cloud defender as well as the safety both. He should flush 2, the high half, and he should flush the cloud corner with him. And that should create the isolation play for our halfback choice play. Now for us, when we explain this to our quarterbacks, we explain this as a isolation route, which means it's a 1-receiver route. He's going to throw the ball to the halfback. The halfback is going to do this. His coaching points are, number 1, we will cheat his alignment. Not so much where it tips the play, but just ever so slightly tip up and out. And we try to hide this and disguise this with things that we'll do out of this gun alignment, like our outside zone play, for an example. The next thing he'll do is he'll take this off of a outside release. We want him to release through the C gap, A, B, and then the C. And then we want him to wall off the C gap and wall off that next defender. The halfback is going to read the inside defender's drop technique. If this inside defender were to take a vertical drop, a zone drop, a spot drop, the halfback would run up to 6 yards, and he would turn to take the ball away from that defender, so he would work away from him here. If that defender took a zone drop across his face, he would turn inside. What we ultimately would want to try to do is always try to take the big bite out of the defense with this route here. So if that defender is really packing his drop and working hard over the top of the halfback, he'll put his foot in the dirt and take this on a 45-degree angle and take the big bite out of the defense. The progression for the quarterback, it's real simple. This is an isolation route. He's working the halfback choice route to the outside lane throw versus free access. If we get any type of cloud coverage or rotation coverage, it's really just going to the halfback on the choice route. We do have to have hots, and our hots are built in. We'll side adjust and hot out here to this Q route, to the adjustment receiver, which is our zebra in this case, and we'll also side adjust here with our halfback. The halfback would just abort the route, and he would take the best avenue. What we do is when we see color flash, we can turn this into a quick shoot route here in the flat, or again, we could take the big bite out of the defense. The route just gets shortened up. Instead of being a 6-yard route, once we see that we're getting color flashing or color blitzing, the halfback puts his foot in the dirt and he takes the inside move or the outside move and gets his head around expecting the hot throw. So here's a hot, and at times we also have side adjusted our tight end, If the tight end sees colors flash, he'll just turn to take the ball right here, hat in hands. So we have really 3 built-in hot routes for any type of blitz that we get from the field or to the boundary. The quarterback's rules in this is to answer, put the ball into the blitz, either 2 or 2, predicated on where the blitz comes from. Real simple progression, be it middle closed or middle open coverage. We're working the will linebacker with the isolation route on the halfback. We'll show you this on film now. All right, man, this is the halfback choice play on film. Number 1 to the field is going to take an outside release go. His job is to clear that outside defender's outside shoulder, whether it's a cloud corner or a free access defender. He needs to flush this outside third. Number 2 is going to run the quick, what we call a Q route, which is the 2-step quick out. Number 3 is going to run what we call a pressure route, which based off of this 9 technique, he should wall off that defender right there. His job, very important job, especially on this look, is to wall off this C gap and take that defender with him and flush that coverage to create the isolation here on the will backer for the halfback on the choice route. Number 1, back here to the call side, his job versus free access would be to run a 16 back to 14 yard. We call that route an outback. It's a mini comeback route. If he gets any kind of rotation coverage like cloud coverage, then he will take an outside release, and his job will begin again to use that as a protection release on the halfback choice route by going outside, as well as flushing to R1 will take their 2 and he'll flush the coverage and create the isolation route here one-on-one with the will linebacker. So as we see this play here now develop, our halfback will take this off of a cheated alignment. He's going to cheat out and up. His job is to release through the C gap, best possible release, and wall off that C gap and that defender in that gap, which will be this will linebacker right here. If that linebacker again takes a vertical drop and drops out, he'll just hat in hands, turn at 6 yards, hat in hands, and take the ball in one piece. If that defender flows across his face, we'll want to try to take the big bite and try to really hurt the defense with a big play. And that's actually what we're going to see on this clip here. If he were to get walled off right here, then he would push up the 6. He'll create the wall off. He'll use he'll take his inside shoulder, push it through his outside shoulder, and then he'll separate and run to the boundary. So it's a true option route with an inside move, an outside zone hookup, man hookup, or an outside man route. So he's got the option basically to win. Our quarterback is really looking for one thing. He's looking at the halfback 1, and against a free access coverage, he has an outlet here 2. We teach this as really just being a simple isolation route. And again, it's good in all different situations. We'll use it on normal downs. We'll use it on obvious downs like nickel downs. They're 3rd down and 4 to 6 where we can convert on the throw. Also use it in some situational football like 2-minute. Use it in situational football, for example, down in the red zone. All right, so here's the play right here. You're going to see our halfback as he comes off the ball. He's going to work that will linebacker, and he does a really nice job of setting him up on the outside move and taking the big bite in the middle. And you'll see number 1 to the field. Let's go up top. His job, clear the outside defender's outside shoulder. Excellent job. Number 2, his job is to run the Q route, which is the 2-step quick release. Nice job. Our tight end is the key guy right here. He's going to take a C-gap release. It's easy against this 9 technique. He's going to wall the C-gap, and he's going to flush the middle linebacker, which creates the isolation route for the halfback to the field. To the boundary, this is rotation coverage. He takes an outside release, and he's going to end up flushing 2, which again continues to create the isolation route to the call side on the will backer. And that's how simple the route is. Now, we've run this in a number of different situations, and it's just been an excellent play for us. So there's the throw and the catch. Okay, I want to show you one more shot of this on a different game clip. We'll bring that up next. Okay, man, this is the second game clip. I wanted to show this to you because the last time we had rotation coverage back here to the boundary. This time we're actually going to be facing quarters. They're going to end up playing straight quarters across the board here. Nothing changes. Outside release, go. Q route. Inside release, pressure route. Big job right here. Take this linebacker. Halfback against the halfback will be working against the will linebacker in the isolation route. Same coaching points as we've already covered. And number 1 here to the boundary or to the call side will be weren't running the outback on this particular look, 16 back to 14. So again, our halfback is going to set the route. And again, he does an excellent job of setting him outside off the C gap and taking the inside bite. We work hard. We tell our halfbacks to attack and be aggressive with the route and try to take the inside bite. And then whenever you're going to teach and coach in that way, the quarterback's got to do a great job with his eyes of looking coverage off and keeping the isolation over here on the tight end. And the tight end's got to do a great job in the C gap. We just need enough time to create the big bite so we can play pitch and catch. A nice sizable gain again on a normal down and get the sticks moving. Okay.